Go ahead, Leonardo.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I am heartburned an hour after.
He is of a very
Mm-hmm.
melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing, and the other too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then have Signor Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and have Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedict's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world if could get her goodwill.
Okay, so here Beatrice is describing the perfect man. He's halfway in between Don John and Benedict, because Don John's too quiet and sullen, and Benedict talks too much and makes too many jokes. So it needs to be halfway in between the two. And then Beatrice says, oh, and he also needs to have a good leg and a good foot. So on some level, this means that he needs to be like, it's straightforward. Like, he needs to be strong, he needs to be a good dancer, but there's also a pun there with French, so it also means that he needs to be a good lover. And he needs to be rich. Okay, so she's got a pretty long list of demands, and so they're joking with her, saying, like, of course you're never going to get a husband. A man like that doesn't exist. You're asking for too much, Beatrice. Go ahead, Leonardo.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never give thee a husband, if thou be so shrewd of the tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way, for it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed he sends none.
So, by being too cursed, God will send you no horn.
That's another sex pun.
Just if he sends me no husband, just if he send me no husband, for the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I'd rather lie in a woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore I will even take sixpence in earnest of the beer ward, and lead his apes into hell.
Okay, so Beatrice is continuing on, basically to say that no man is good enough for her. That if he's, that she doesn't like beards because they're scratchy, naturally, and that she doesn't want a man with no beard because then he's not really a man. He's too young and he can't handle her, which is cute. And then ultimately she says that she's going to remain single. And she says she's going to lead apes into hell, which apparently is considered the traditional punishment for a woman who remains single. Like, apparently you need to spend your time leading apes into hell. I don't know what that means or why, but the bottom line is that they consider it bad to be single. But Beatrice doesn't care.
Well, then go you into hell.
No, but to the gate, and there will the devil meet me, like an old chuckled with horns on his head, and say, Get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. Here's no place for you maids. So deliver I up my apes, and await to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there live we as merry as the day is long.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, faith. It is my cousin's duty to make curtsy and say, Father, as it please you. But yet, for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another curtsy and say, Father, as it please me.
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust, to make an account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match in my kindred.
Okay, good. So Antonio's like, gosh, Hero, I hope you're gonna be like more reasonable and listen to your father and do what he tells you instead of this one over here, Beatrice. Yikes. And Beatrice says, yes, well, of course Hero's going to listen to her dad, but hopefully she'll listen to herself too, especially if the guy's not handsome. Like, he better at least be handsome if they're gonna choose for her. So even then, Hero doesn't say anything. Beatrice is still the one talking. And Leonardo says, well, I hope one day you get married, Beatrice. And she says, not until God make men of some other metal than earth. So you know how we talk about man being like from dust, you know, like God made us from the earth. She's talking about that. But she's saying, wouldn't it be disappointing as a woman to be ruled by your husband, because that's how marriage was at the time, and to know that you were being ruled essentially by a piece of dirt, right? So she's calling men dirt. It's cute, right? It's resonant in 2018. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered by a piece of valiant dust, to make account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, uncle, I'll have none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match my kindred. So what is she saying in that last part? It's mostly a joke, but...
Is it an incest joke?
Yeah, why wouldn't we make an incest joke? Yeah, so she's saying, like, if we're all God's children and Adam's sons are my brothers, then I shouldn't marry my brother. She's just making jokes about how she'll never get married. Okay, Leonardo, Beatrice, continue.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you be not wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything. And so dance out the answer. For hear me, Hero, wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure, and a
sync pace.
The first suit is hot and hasty, like a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly, modest, as a measure full of state and
Ancientry, yeah.
Ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the sinking pace faster and faster, till he sink into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passion truly.
I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
The revolvers are entering, brother. Make a good rune.
Okay, so Beatrice is comparing relationships to dances. And she says that the wooing is like a Scotch jig, okay, which is hot and hasty. So everything's like fun and sexy in the beginning. And then the wedding itself is mannerly, modest as a measure. So like there's a lot of rules according, you know, how you get married, all the ceremony of it. And then marriage, though, is faster and faster until he sink into his grave. So after you get married, you're just basically racing towards death because everything's garbage. Not a great view of marriage, right? Okay, so I need. We can probably have, let's see, Leonardo, Antonio, Hero. You can have new roles. Antonio, you've got a few lines, but Leonardo for sure. Beatrice, you still need to talk. I need a Don Pedro. Don Pedro, I need I need a Beatrice and a Benedict. We have a Beatrice, right? Who's Benedict? Who wants to be Benedict? No. You can be Benedict instead if you want.
I'll be Benedict instead.
Okay. You want to be Benedict?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You can be Benedict. Okay. Let's actually start at the top of about midway through 16 when Beatrice says, "Will you not tell me who told you so?" This is a confusing scene that I think is important for us to read. Beatrice and Benedict are talking to each other, but remember it's a masquerade. And so the Benedict character knows very well he's talking to Beatrice, and supposedly he's saying, he's in disguise though. Supposedly Beatrice doesn't know who he is, or at least that's what they're pretending. And he's saying, oh, you know, I heard somebody said that you were disdainful and had your wit out of like a stupid joke book. And so he's insulting her, but pretending that it's not Benedict. And so she's going to say some nasty things about Benedict, and she knows it's right to his face, but he doesn't know that she knows it's him, and then he's going to get all distressed about it. It's a little confusing, but let's see if we can make sense of it as we read, okay? Beatrice, will you not tell me?
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful and that I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales. Well, this was Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
So he's saying, oh, I know you. You're that disdainful girl who's got all the bad jokes. And she's like, who said that? Well, I can't tell you who said that. She's like, oh, I bet it was Benedict. And then she proceeds to, she's going to tell this person behind the mask, you know, who claims he has never heard of Benedict. She's going to tell him all about Benedict. But of course it is Benedict, and so he's going to get upset.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gifts is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him. And the commendations is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
Benedict?
Oh, sorry. When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do. He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which her adventure not marked on not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy.